Hey friends, let's get moving with a backpack. So I went through my home library and I got my biggest, thickest books. I think I got about 6 of them. I put them on the scale and weighed them, and it was about 16 pounds. So I'm gonna go ahead and load up my backpack with my books. And I know that this will be a manageable but challenging load for my lower body. But once we start to do some more upper body exercises, I'm probably gonna have to take a book or 2 out. And it's okay for you to do the same. That's the beauty of using found objects like this to add load to your workout is you can always totally customize it to what you need. So let me make sure I'm all buckled in. Okay, so let's stand up, grab your bag, and before we get started with exercises, put your backpack on your back. Oh, I forgot I have a mic pack there. Put your backpack on your back. Okay, and check in with your posture. So sometimes when you wear a backpack, you might feel like the backpack is pulling your shoulders forward. So at least in my body, I know that I overcompensate by thrusting my ribs forward. So keep that in mind. Notice if that's something that you do as well, and maybe use this back side of the backpack as kind of a tactile cue to let your ribs drop. So hopefully you can feel your back making contact with the backpack all the way up and down. Okay, so go ahead and take it off, and we're gonna hold on either to like a top loop or to an shoulder strap, is that what it's called? Yeah, and we're just gonna take it around the world. So take your backpack, switching hands behind you and in front of you. And as you go, just notice how you're using your grip strength. Notice how the weight in your body changes, how your posture changes as the bag goes around the world. And reverse, reverse. Go in the other direction. So not only is this a good warm-up for your body, for your grip, for your muscles, it's also a good warm-up for your brain, especially this part where you have to switch off in back. And if you're not looking down at your hands in the front of your body, your brain is having to sense, and your nervous system is having to sense where you are in space and where the bag is in space. So just take it around town one more time, and let's throw it back up here onto your back. And we're gonna do a squat and lunge progression here. So stand with your feet about hip distance apart. That's hip bone, not hip flesh. Okay, make sure again that you're letting your ribs lower down and that you have a nice neutral pelvis. So I'm gonna hold my hands out in front to counterbalance my weight. So I'm gonna inhale to bend down into the squat and exhale to stand up. Then I'm gonna take my left leg back, and here's where you have a choice. You can come straight back to a straight leg lunge, or you can come straight back to a bent knee lunge. So then you're inhaling to step back, exhaling to step up and straighten, or straighten and step up, I should say. Okay, so other side, then inhale right leg back. Your choice, either to the straight leg lunge or to the bent knee lunge, and then you exhale both legs straight and step back up. Okay, so inhale, squat. Exhale, rise. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, left leg forward as you stand. And then inhale, right leg back, and exhale, back up to your squat. I'm gonna try it with my knees bent this time. If your balance feels a little iffy on those split squats, the lunge squats, you can always be next to a wall, you know, and steady yourself with a wall or a chair. Can you feel your heart rate increasing? Keep your breath steady. Inhaling anytime your knees are bending pretty much. Exhaling to straighten the legs. We've got 3 more rounds. So this is 3. Keep it up, you got it. This is 2. And this is the last one. Make it a good one. Great job, well done. You can take your backpack off, put it off to the side for just a moment. This next exercise doesn't use the backpack. I thought you would need a little bit of a break from it. So go ahead and come down to your stomach and prop yourself up onto your forearms. So you have parallel forearms here, palms on the ground. Take a breath in and let your chest lift, let your head lift, look up with your eyes. And then as you exhale, press into the tops of your feet. Lift your hips away from the ground. And now your gaze is down in between your forearms. Inhale, hips come down, chest comes up, eyes come up. Exhale, forearm plank. So there is another variation. You can keep your knees on the ground. And that looks like this. I think both of them are really hard. So you can choose whichever one feels best for your body today. Remember to bring your gaze into it. So inhaling to look up. Exhale down in between your forearms. For 3. Here's 2. Here's 1. Last one. Great, go ahead and lower your hips back down to the ground. Take a full breath in and out. Let your tummy expand with your breath. Great, now make your way up to stand, however you want to. And you're gonna put your bag next to your right side. And you'll get to kind of play around with your grip here and how you want to hold the bag. You can do it by holding the shoulder straps, which I find to be the easiest. You might just go ahead and grab the sides of the top of the bag. Depending on how sturdy you think your top loop is, you could try doing that, but I always just feel like my knuckles clack together when I do that. So you're gonna have your feet a little bit wider than your hips, okay? And so we're gonna inhale and reach down and to the right. So when we reach down and to the right knee bends, the right side of the pelvis goes back behind us, left leg is straight, okay? So inhale to reach down, exhale, stand up, bag to chest. And then here we go, we're gonna inhale and reach the bag up and to the left. Now, as you do that, pop up your right heel. Okay, exhale, bag to chest. Inhale, bag to ground. So you set the tempo here. When you lift up, keep those ribs down, okay? You don't have to get the bag right over your head. My arms are out in front of my head to keep my ribs down. super hard. One more. Great. You did it. Let's go ahead and switch the bag over to the other side. Okay, so before we get started again, I'm gonna just break it down. So you're gonna inhale to reach down. And when you reach down, your left knee bends and you're shooting your pelvis back. And that's gonna bring more of the load into your glute as opposed to into your quad on the top of your thigh. So you snatch up the bag, exhale, bag to chest, and then inhale up and to the right as your left heel pops up. Ribs stay mellow. Exhale, bag to chest. Inhale, bag to ground. Okay, here we go. Exhale, bag to chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bag to chest. Inhale, bag to ground. So you're gonna go at your own pace here. Remember to keep the ribs down as you lift. Last one. I mean, this is the last one. Great job. Okay, set your bag down. Let's see what's next. Okay, so you're gonna lie down on your back and you're gonna put your bag over to your right side. Kind of like wherever your hips are, wherever your pelvis is. You don't want it too high up towards your shoulder. So there's lots of variations here with this move. So I'm gonna start with my knees bent and my feet on the ground. I'm gonna put my right arm out a little bit wider than the bag with my palm on the ground. And I'm gonna start with my left arm up, back, behind me, overhead, okay? So I'm gonna take an inhale, and as I exhale, I'm gonna curl up and tap the bag with my left hand. Inhale, come back down. And when I come back down, I'm not gonna let my rib cage lift up towards the ceiling. I'm gonna keep my rib cage stacked right over my pelvis, okay? So you're inhaling, exhale to reach up and touch. So you can do this with your feet on the ground. You can also bring your knees up so they're stacked over your hips. You have 90 degrees in hips and knees. And the last option is straight legs. Okay, you can do straight legs here. It's your choice. Maybe you try all three. For 3, 2, last one. Great job. Put your knees down, or your feet down if they were lifted. And let's go ahead and take the bag over to the left side of our body now. It's heavy, isn't it? Somebody out there is doing this with a backpack with a newspaper in it, and I salute you. Okay, so your left hand is gonna be a little bit out wider than the bag. Right hand comes overhead. You're gonna take a breath in. As you exhale, reach up, right hand taps the bag. Inhale, back down. Exhale, reach up and tap the bag. So really curling the right shoulder up away from the ground. Remembering that you can do this with feet up or with straight legs. You can even try with all three. Go at your own tempo. I'd rather you move with control than speed. If you feel like the jump from feet flat to feet lifted is too big, try it with toes down on the ground only. For 3, 2, last one. Woo! Catch your breath for a moment. As you breathe in and out for a few moments here, really let your abdomen fully expand. When you inhale and then relax, soften when you exhale. One more breath. Okay, so you can roll over and sit up, or you can rock up and sit up. Now, you're going to go ahead and move the bag back behind you. Okay, and we're going to come into a plank position. So the bag is back there where your feet are supposed to go. So you're going to have to start with your feet diagonally back over to the right. Now, variations here, if this doesn't feel well for your body today, is to do this with your knees dropped down. Okay, that is possible. If your wrists don't feel happy, you can practice on your fists. You can even drop down onto your forearms. I personally think that's a little bit harder, but you do you. Okay, so here we go, coming into a plank. Okay, and so it's bonus points if you don't look back at the bag, okay? If you keep your gaze out in front of you a little bit on the ground, that's extra bonus points. So you're gonna take your left foot and then your right foot and step over the bag, and then right foot, left foot steps over. Trying not to touch the bag. And again, you can move quickly, or you can move really slowly. And that provides its own intense set of challenges. So if you have your knees down, you're going to pick up your whole leg, including your knee, each time. Okay, for 3, 2, last one. Oh, woo! Okay, that was like a double ab set there. Back-to-back abs. Okay, go ahead and put the backpack in the middle of your practice space. And now, if there's any extraneous strappy, loopy thingies, try to tuck them under your bag so that you don't get your foot snagged in one of them. Stand up and stand to the right side of your bag. And you're gonna take a big step over with your left foot to the left side of the bag, and then with your right foot. And your right foot's gonna touch down, okay? So you could keep your legs straight as you do this, but let's see how much flexion we can get in the hip. How close to your chest can you bring your thigh as you take your step over the backpack? Okay, so this is one variation. Whoa, you can stay here, and maybe I need to. Another option is to make it a jump. So you can jump, tap your toe to the ground, and then go to the other side, jump and tap your toe to the ground. Okay, so, and while you're doing, if you're doing the jump, remember, you don't want to like swing your leg in front of the backpack, okay? You really want to get your thigh up in the air. I obviously don't have as good of balance today as I originally thought. So if you're like me and you're kind of wobbly, put a chair in front of you and you can hold on to a chair or a kitchen counter. So if you're like, Jen, this is a breeze, this is a piece of cake, you wanna take it up a notch, instead of hopping over and tapping your toe to the ground. Hop over and tap your foot to the inside of your knee, okay? Back and forth like this. So it's just a little extra there. Just a little extra. Keep your knees high. Keep breathing. Keep balancing. For 3, 2, 1. Great job. Hopefully you started to feel that a little bit in your outer hips. I know I did. Okay, so we're gonna lie down again. And this is where I need to empty my bag a little bit. We're gonna come into some pretty strict upper body stuff here for a moment. So I'm gonna take out my Jane Austen, The Complete Works, and I'm gonna take out Europe, a history. Just a little light reading, you know. So I've still got, I think, E.E. Cummings in there, the Beatles biography, and A Promised Land by Obama. Okay. So I'm gonna test it. Yeah, that's gonna be so much more manageable for me. So, okay, let's lie down on our backs. Now, when you lie down and extend your legs, you wanna make sure that your rib cage is not shining up towards the ceiling, okay? So you can use your upper abs to kind of snuggle your rib cage down. Another option is to put a pillow or a blanket under your head and shoulders. And lifting up your head and shoulders with that support will help keep your ribs down. So grab your bag. Okay. Make sure it is securely fastened so that books do not come spilling out on your head. Okay, so I'm starting with the bag resting on my pelvis so that I can show you my grip. So my palms are gonna face in, but I'm gonna take my elbow crease up towards the ceiling. And that's gonna put my upper arm bone in this nice external rotation position. Okay, so grab onto the bag, rotate your elbows up, and then you're gonna inhale the bag overhead. So you can go as far back as you want or can, but don't go so far back that your rib cage pops up, okay? So if I tried to take this bag all the way back to the ground behind me, my rib cage would definitely pop up, and that would mean that I'm using my spine instead of my shoulders and arms. So you're gonna exhale, touch down to the pelvis, inhale, pull the bag over your head, any amount. So sync up with your breath. Now some variations that you can play with. So you can take the bag straight overhead, pulling straight overhead like we've been doing. Another option is to take the bag and pull it overhead and to the right. And now one of the straps is in my mouth. Okay, then you can bring it down and you can go back and to the left. And so you can play around with even just kind of doing an around the world kind of a half semicircle or half windmill back here overhead, as long as you keep your ribs down and as long as you don't mind getting whacked in the face by the little dangly straps. So there's lots of ways to play around here, lots of ways to vary this movement. So you can play with that. And, you know, if you're here and you're like, you know, this isn't feeling like enough of a challenge for me, press pause, sit up, grab another book, put another book in there. Okay, this is totally customizable for wherever you are. Now that I'm a little bit more warmed up in my shoulders, I can feel some more range of motion. I can take the bag back a little bit further than I could at first. I'm gonna go for 3 and 2. And last one, here we go. 1. Okay. Rest your bag down, shake out your hands. So you are also really working on your grip strength there, not just your upper arm and shoulder strength. Okay, so from here, I'm gonna go ahead and put my books back in the bag because we are gonna finish up with another lower body thingamajig. So back you go, Norman Davies. And back you go, Jane. Okay, again, make sure the bag is securely fastened so that books don't come toppling out during this exercise. So coming back down to the back, knees bent, feet on the ground, hoist your backpack onto your pelvis, okay? So you don't really so much want it up here on your stomach. You want it as close to your hip creases as possible. And so I'm feeling like this vertical way isn't really gonna work. If I turn it horizontally, that's a little bit better. I can get it a little bit more into my hip creases. You should be able to touch your heels with your fingertips, okay? So you're gonna use your hands to keep the bag steady. As you inhale, you're gonna lift your hips up. And as you exhale, you're gonna lower your hips back down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. So now, as you're going along here, if the weight from the backpack and the books feels like too much for you, press pause, take out a book or two, or just put the backpack off to the side and do this with your own body weight, because your body weight and gravity are still loading your joints and your muscles here. So it's still gonna be super beneficial. Okay, we're gonna play around now. So let's go ahead and lift the right heel up off the ground, okay? This is one option here. Keep doing your bridges with your right heel lifted. And that's gonna just put a little bit more load onto the left side. If you're feeling frisky, you can lift that right foot all the way up. But I kind of have this feeling of like, if I do that, it's kind of like I'm about to jump off the high dive at the swimming pool. Like there's this split second you really have to trust. That's what I'm feeling right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and try because I know that this is a controlled environment, a safe activity. There, I did it. So you can keep going. Oh my gosh, it's so much harder. You can keep going this way, but we're just gonna go for 3, 2, and 1. Put your right foot down, put your hips down, and I bet you're there thinking, Jen, you only stopped because that got really hard. That's only partly true. We still have to do the other side. So make sure your bag's still in a good spot. Pop up your left heel so you got your the left ball of your foot on the ground still. And here we go, we're gonna inhale to lift. I'm sorry. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to lift. There we go. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. So again, you can go really fast with this as long as you feel like you can control your movements, or you can make this more of a slow burn, okay? Your choice. Maybe if you're feeling a little bit more like scatterbrained, tired, Maybe you choose to go a little slower. If you feel like you haven't done much moving in your body or in your mind today, then maybe you go a little faster. And then, of course, here I'm coming up to the end of the high dive. I'm gonna try lifting my left foot up. There we go. That side felt way easier to lift up. Maybe it was because I already knew that I could do it. For 3, 2, and 1. Okay, go ahead and set your hips down. Go ahead and put your bag off to the side. Put your hands on your low belly and just bring your feet together, knees apart in a butterfly position. Close your eyes if you want to. Let's take 3 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, and feel how your abdomen rises and falls as you breathe. Great. Go ahead and help your knees back together. One more little relaxing bit here. Take your feet a bit wider than your hips. And then you're going to drop your knees from side to side. And then you can give your knees a hug into your chest. You can do a little rocking. If you want to push your knees in a little circle, kind of massaging your lower back, you can do that too. And then when you're ready, go ahead and roll over or rock up and sit up. Woo! I hope you're feeling good. I'm feeling good. Make sure that you put your books back in the right spot. And thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.